Think about what some of these AIs can do today. You can basically ask the thing to scan the entire body of human writing. Give me a Shakespearean sonnet, but in the style of Eminem, and in 100 milliseconds or 500 milliseconds, people used to die falling off their horse. A lot. You just don't read about it because we didn't take good records. If we unleash AI and the robots drive the cars and they fly the airplanes, it's more likely than not the case that the average number of traffic deaths fall in the same way that in the modern era of antibiotics and hospitals and modern dentistry, you live an extra 30 years.
MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor is no stranger to groundbreaking technologies and the immense opportunities they present to investors who are wise enough to get in at the appropriate time. While many Bitcoin investors only know the American entrepreneur and business executive for his strong views on the leading cryptocurrency, he made his mark in the investment world decades ago for his uncanny ability to seek groundbreaking opportunities, especially in the tech industry. In 1996, Saylor was named KPMG Washington High-Tech Entrepreneur of the Year. A similar honor was bestowed on him by Ernst & Young the following year. And in 1998, Red Herring magazine recognized him as one of the year's top 10 entrepreneurs. Last year, during an interview with David Lin, the MicroStrategy executive chairman shared his views on artificial intelligence, which he described as an immense opportunity with the potential to reshape industries and create unprecedented wealth. During the discussion, Saylor compared the exponential growth of AI to previous transformative technologies like mobile phones and the internet, emphasizing the importance of getting in early to capitalize on its potential for exponential wealth creation. While Saylor remains a staunch Bitcoin advocate, he recognizes AI as the biggest opportunity for entrepreneurs, builders, and savvy investors today. In a more recent discussion with Graham Stephan and Jack Selby, Saylor again highlights the immense opportunities artificial intelligence presents and how it will reshape our entire world over the next few years. According to Michael Saylor, AI is the next big thing, and investors now only have a small window of time to get in early before everything is completely upended and disrupted. As we bring you clips from the interview, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
Arthur C. Clarke's got a phrase, a very famous statement. I put it on the back cover of my IPO prospectus in 1998 when the company came public. That's how important the phrase was. And his phrase was, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, right? And that was the mantra of the great science fiction writers, where it blends with fantasy. It's like, what's a magic mirror? Well, I look in the mirror and I talk, and then somebody talks back. Well, now you take, an iPad or you take an Apple computer and you look at it and you zoom to someone in Singapore and you talk and they talk back. And that's getting pretty magical. But then at the point where they take your photo and they plug you into an AI and they bring you to life and they put you into cyberspace, and I'm talking to an AI that's talking back to me with your gestures. Am I talking to a demon, a witch, a demigod, a person? Where did the science stop? Where did the fantasy begin? And that inspired me to start MicroStrategy. And our idea was intelligence everywhere. Let's make everybody super intelligent. What happens if I dematerialize every book that's ever been written and I can put it on an iPad? Okay, well, I just gave 100 million books to 8 billion people for a nickel. Okay, well, that's interesting. That's not linear thinking. But that's like second order thinking. Third order thinking is, okay, let's just dematerialize every book, and then let's read every book, and let's give you, the equivalent of a professor that's read every book, and you can ask the professor anything, And the first order is, hey, can you just give me enough money to print a bunch of books and give you a big library? But, printing the books is fiendishly expensive for the civilization. Making you read them is double fiendishly expensive. So what if the computer printed them, the computer read them? And, at some point, the fourth order is, hey, why don't you just read every book, look over my shoulder, think about what I ought to do, and just do it.
Placing a lot of trust, though, in the AI. Do you worry about that? And people not having the self-sufficiency to be able to maybe see through some of that might not apply to them or rely too heavily?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, we're all going to worry about a lot of stuff, right? When you get on an airplane, you get in a tube and you fly 6,000 miles.
Oh, gosh, don't go on it. Yeah.
And that if the window blows open, you'll freeze to death or you'll suffocate, before anybody can do anything about it. But meanwhile, you probably don't think about it. You want me to make you worry? Because I'm an aeronautical engineer. On approach, right? If the pilot takes his eye off the approach and gets unstable for 2 seconds, the plane may go into a tailspin. You're going to crash and burn. And there's not a single thing you can do about it. And does it ever occur to you to worry about what the pilot drank the night before he got into the plane? Let me ask with you a bit more, which is, okay, are we going to worry about AI bots driving your car? And are you worried about someone taking over the car and crashing the AI-driven car? Or next time you go into New York City or wherever you go and you call an Uber, does it occur to you that no matter how well you eat, how well you drink, how well you live your life, how careful you are, how good a shape you're in, that the random person that picked you up in the Uber in 2 seconds can drive you off the bridge and kill you with no chance to appeal, right? Your life is basically in the hands of a random driver every time you get in a taxi cab. And you ought to be a lot more afraid of that than getting on the airplane, because at least with the airplane, there's 2 pilots. And by the way, it's against professional rules, and he will get fired or she will get fired if they drink, and there's another person to look at them and assess whether they're sober when they walk on the airplane. And if they lose it or sneeze or have a seizure, there's another person to land the plane.
Critics of artificial intelligence often share concerns such as data privacy, algorithm bias, and the potential misuse of AI technologies. Popular investigative journalist Whitney Webb has repeatedly shared fears that artificial intelligence will be used to police every piece of content we read, write, and engage with on the internet, to ostracize and punish certain groups of people who don't conform to mainstream ideas. There have also been concerns that AI will take over human jobs and render us all useless. However, experts have argued that some jobs will be disrupted, but many new opportunities will be created as we navigate this new world. Saylor himself is no stranger to the pitfalls of artificial intelligence. Earlier this year, he revealed that his team removes around 80 AI-generated, Bitcoin-related fake videos of his daily. The post, which he shared on Twitter in January, reads, "Warning, there is no risk-free way to double your Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy doesn't give away Bitcoin to those who scan a barcode. My team takes down about 80 fake AI-generated YouTube videos every day, but the scammers keep launching more. Don't trust, verify." During the discussion with Stefan and Selby, Saylor explains that AI would definitely be more advantageous than harmful to the human population, as it will drastically lower accident rates and increase our life expectancy. Here are more clips from the video.
Now I'm going to put you back in the random Uber in a foreign country that's swerving in traffic. And okay, if you think, oh, I'm too smart because I breathalyze test and I personality test the Uber driver when I get in the car. Maybe you think that. Has it occurred to you that the guy on the other side of the median strip can just take a drug, drink a thing, and do this? Bam! And there's a point to all this, which is, people used to die falling off their horse a lot. You just don't read about it because we didn't take good records. And if you roll the clock back to 1950, without technology, the average life expectancy was 50. If you roll the clock back to 1770, the average life expectancy was 32. People actually walked past a swamp, got bit by a mosquito, and died of malaria or some fever, or they lived in a house that didn't have heat and they died of pneumonia. And people are dying of all sorts of things before we had technology. Now we live in the early 21st century, and there's a million things for you to worry about. But if we unleash AI and the robots drive the cars and they fly the airplanes, it's more likely than not the case that the average number of traffic deaths fall in the same way that in the modern era of antibiotics and hospitals and modern dentistry, you live an extra 30 years, even though you're taking some kind of risk when you do it. Yeah, we can worry about it all. There'll be a debate. There's going to be politicians that'll say you're safer in a car driven by a person than in a car driven by a computer. That probably won't be the case, but people will believe it's the case. And that's above our pay grade, right? It's going to be determined, regardless of what you think about it. So if you look at the history of the world through a technology lens, right, then you start to see things differently. So when I came out of MIT, I had the science fiction background, I had the fantasy background, I had the history of, I always loved history in general, but then the history of science really opened up my eyes to paradigm shifts. I mean, one of the most basic principles of science is the paradigm shift. Dr. Harvey is the guy that discovered that the heart beats blood out through the arteries. It circulates back through the veins. For 10,000 years, no doctor knew what the heart did, and they didn't actually accept circulation. Harvey discovers it, and everybody in the medical profession rejects it. Like, no, we don't believe you. Now, despite the fact they could probably determine this with some experiments, but they don't believe him. And Harvey says, no physician over the age of 40 will ever believe me. Ever. Right? And then I think Max Planck had a quote. He goes, science advances one death at a time. And Thomas Kuhn says in The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, when you come up with a new paradigm shift, whether it's, the Copernican revolution, right? The universe doesn't revolve around the Earth. Your diseases aren't caused by spirits and demons, but rather by little germs and, in the blood. Or relativity that Einstein put forward, in the paradigm shift of quantum physics, which Einstein rejected, or, quantum uncertainty. Kuhn says these paradigm shifts take place only after the old guard dies or in a war. There are only two ways you get people to turn the world upside down and see a new idea. You have to see the old guard die. We're seeing this in crypto right now. I mean, I go around and I'll meet people and they'll say, yeah, my son told me I needed to talk to you. It's like the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings, the teenagers, they all know. The 50-somethings, 60-somethings, 70-somethings, if they're hearing it from their kids. So this is a generational thing up.
While speaking at a conference a few months ago, Saylor announced that we have begun a gold rush decade for Bitcoin, during which institutional adoption will increase significantly, leading to exponential price growth. The MicroStrategy executive chairman added that the rise of autonomous artificial intelligence will aid this decade-long gold rush. In return, Bitcoin will help secure the internet against bad actors who would take advantage of the AI revolution. If you want to actually watermark, timestamp, cryptographically sign messages and documents and content, you're going to need Bitcoin to do that as a system of truth, Saylor said during a panel discussion at the Bitcoin Atlantis conference in March, adding, "So I think AI will drive demand for Bitcoin in that way. If you want to create an AI version of yourself and have it live on the internet forever, you better give it some Bitcoin. So I think there's going to be an interesting demand function there. If these predictions turn out to be correct, the next few years will be very exciting for investors, especially those who take advantage of the crypto and AI revolution. Please share your thoughts, comments, and observations on the video in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.